Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a story time, a request from a supporter. She seen my Icks About Men video on TikTok, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna do an ick. So basically one of the icks that she wanted me to talk about was the stepmom allegation. So let's talk about it. Cause I feel like it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. I swear red dry wine is not my thing. I like it sweet with no aftertaste. So let's get into it. I was dating this guy for a year and some change, and we was dating at school. We also was dating during breaks. So even after school, we was still dating. So I ended up meeting his family. He ended up meeting mine, and it was cool. Like the first two meetups was cool. When I came to the city, I always had an itinerary planned out for me. The vibes was good, and his parents wanted to see us, so they wanted to spend time with us. Cool. So the first time I met his stepmom was at a hibachi place, and I felt as though she liked me. The second time, I remember like in between meetups of dinners and stuff like that, he would tell me how uneasy he felt. And I remember sometimes she would kind of like sabotage the meetup. So we were meeting up a couple of times before this incident. So it was a time where it was his turn to come see me. And he told me, he was like, well, you know, she said I can't come. And I'm like, why not? And he was like, well, you know, she said it was something about my tire. I don't want to hear it. If it's fixable, I don't want to hear it. So I ended up talking to her about the tire. I'm like, hey, is it fixable? Could he go to AutoZone and get it fixed? I want to see my guy. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, oh, I'll book an appointment in the morning. No problem. Cool. So next morning comes, I'm texting him like, are you on the road? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Because you want to see me. So he basically was like, oh, I can't come. She didn't book the appointment. No, she didn't. Okay. So I felt some type of way. I'm like, so why did you think she didn't book it? Maybe it's like a safety reason, you know, because she threatened to take away his car. Because, you know, parents usually pay for your first car. Usually, if they're good parents, they're going to help you financially get your first car. And all you have to do is really respect it. But at the same time, it's his car. You can't tell him where to take his car if it's his, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting uneasy vibes from her. Like, she just don't want us to be together. You know, this is coming from him. And I'm like, well, if you're telling me your expression to me that she's been rubbing on your arm at dinner and you feel like easy, like she got a lust towards you, then she probably don't want me dating you. She want to date you. So we came to the conclusion that this lady has a crush on her stepson. A stepmother, biological or not, has a crush on her stepson. So now I have to deal with my ex being uneasy around his stepmom. You know, so it was just a lot, y'all. So that happened or whatever. And, you know, of course, I came to the city to still see him. And we would be doing our thing. And she would call and be like, you know, Nelly, bring Nelly over. I brought food. I made food. Invite her over. So we was like, cool. So on the way there, I remember him telling me, he was like, yeah, and my stepsister just be on your page stalking you, like, you know, trying to see if you be putting it on, how, if you know how to dress, basically if I'm good enough for him. So straight off the bat, like, I want to say my guard was up, you know, because I'm a very family-oriented person. I love family. Like, I love spending time with people, family. I feel honored when people's friends ask me, like, hey, Nelly, do you want to come to a cookout? Because I feel like you think I'm respectful enough to be around the people that you love unconditionally. So I'm not going to take that for granted. I'm going to treat your people how I treat mine. So when I walk in, I'm going to always give hugs and kisses, and I'm always going to be engaged in conversation because that's just how I would want people to be around my people. Be respectful, you know? So now you telling me this. So I got to be sweet Nelly, and I got to be on my guard. Nothing new, but okay, cool. So we walk into the house from the garage, and there's a staircase, and then there's a bar sitting in the front of the door. So I walk in, I got something slight on. Like, I got probably like some sweatpants. I'm going to see the family, so I'm not really tripping on putting that stuff on. So I had on sweatpants and a graphic t-shirt. I walk in, his oldest stepsister that he just finished telling me about is sitting at the bar, and she turns around and she looks at me. I'm like, hey, and she looks me up and down like she's not impressed. She knew I was coming, but she was not impressed, right? Okay, baby had on a bonnet, but anyway, we're not gonna get into it. But yeah, but my hair was laid. Y'all already know how I'm coming. My hair done. I might have on some lazy fit, but baby girl, don't try it. So she wasn't impressed. Cool. I already peeped the vibe. I turned. His stepmom is coming down the staircase, and I said, "Hey, you know," I hail her, and she walks down the stairs, and she walks past me. All right, I already know the vibes for tonight. Just stay to yourself, okay? Just eat your food and stay to yourself. So that's what I did. So I remember his stepsister-in-law came. She addressed me and she was like, "Hey, we got food here. And if you want a glass of wine, I heard you like wine. I'll make you some wine." I said, "Please, ma'am, please." So that's exactly what she did. I did not end up eating the food just because I don't like eating from people that I know don't like me. It's just a spiritual thing. You don't eat from the hand that doesn't like you. It's just also it's common sense. I'm just not with it. So I ended up not having an appetite. I did have one glass of wine just to kind of loosen up, not be so uptight. And we started playing games. And I remember like during the games, if I get an answer wrong, no, that's not the right answer. Okay, my bad. I just won't engage in the games because, you know, I'm never right. So, cool. That incident happened. Boom. We leave. We talk about it. Because, you know, at the time, this was my best friend. So, we was just giggling about it. Brushing it off. Some hater shit. Cool. So, then I remember another time we went out to dinner. And his grandma was there. His uncle was there. And, like, 2 other family members. And his parents. His dad and his stepmom was there. So, we go. His dad was at the head of the table. She was on the left. And there was 2 empty chairs between her and his uncle, who was at the end of the table. Just to give y'all a visual. So earlier, remember I told y'all that she was feeling up on my man's arm during dinner? Not around me, not in front of me, not while I'm here breathing in the flesh. So I sat beside her. You know, I picked where I was gonna sit at before he could even think about, ooh, you sit by your uncle and I'll sit by her, period. Because what you're not gonna do is feel up on his arm while I'm sitting here helpless like, dang, I can't even address this grown behind 40-year-old woman in front of his people because they gonna be looking at me like, girl, you're crazy. Because y'all don't know, when you're naturally crazy, like, you don't play, you have to pretend that you're not. Okay, there's people pretending that they're crazy, and there's crazy people pretending that they're not crazy. Don't let that go over your head. And about my man, I don't play. Okay? So if you my man at the time, just know I'm not playing about you. Okay? So, yeah. I sat by her, and y'all know sis was not too happy about that. So she kind of like, you know, she was just looking at me, and then she was like, ugh, like, you know, mad that I was sitting by her. Like, girl, you got to be smarter than that. So during the whole dinner, I kind of had my back turned to her. Not on like some, you know, not with my arm sitting on the table. I'm not disrespectful. I do things strategically. Everything I do is logical. So if y'all thinking I'm doing stuff unhinged and not thinking it through, baby, you're wrong. I think about every move I make. I'm playing chess and bitches is playing checkers. Okay? So boom. I had my back kind of slightly turned to her, not disrespectful, because I was kind of talking to his uncle and his grandmother, engaging in like conversations about baseball, where I'm from. And if his dad said something respectfully, I would turn and address both of them. It's just out of respect. I'm not going to give you respect if it's not given. That's just me. So that happened. And, you know, just a lot of times later on in a relationship, we were just having more problems. Like on his birthday, you know, me and him wasn't on the best terms, but we were still talking. And I remember him telling me, like, Shorty took me to the strip club. She did what? She did what? So it was just things like that. That was just like, okay, she really doesn't respect me. Like, she really don't want to see us together. And you not standing on business because you're not telling anybody in your immediate family about how you feel uncomfortable because you're liking the fatal attraction. Let's be honest, because if I tell you that my uncle making me feel uncomfortable every time I'm around him, he touching my shoulder or something, and I don't act on it, you're going to be looking at me like, baby, you must like it. Either you must like. Sometimes some people are scared to say something naturally. They don't want to mess up the dynamic of their family, which is understandable. That's why you keep your distance. It was just a weird situation. It was just weird. I'm tongue-tied. I'm flabbergasted that I even had to go through that in a relationship. Like, I've never, honestly, sitting in front of y'all, I've never had a situation where somebody's mother does not love me, because I'm very mature and I'm very intelligent and I can have engaging conversations. So they're like, oh, you know, she wifey material. We like her off rip. So it's never been an incident. You can ask any of my exes where I sit across from a mother who doesn't like me. Even the young ones that be trying to act like they on age with me be like, girl, let's go to Starbucks. You feel me? They like me. So, to each his own. Everybody not gonna like you. But with me, it was just such a weird situation. Because if I gotta call my mama and be like, mama, I feel like I'm gonna have to whoop that trick. You feel me? A 30-year-old at that, like, I'm telling my ex, like, I really feel like the hostility every time I'm in front of this woman. I can feel animosity. I'm an energy person. Like, it's not what you say, it's what you do. It's how you move. It's your energy. That's it. So, boom. That includes the rest of my story time. If y'all like story times from me, Nelly, then y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what y'all think about this. Comment below. Like, what's y'all opinion? What's y'all feedback? Isn't this crazy? Or what's up?